We're here with two United Grid League athletes. I don't know. We're here with Selena Swanger. She's representing the New York Wolves, and Octavius Baker of the Carolina Flight. And they are athletes in what's known as fitness racing, the sport of fitness racing. And it's called the United Grid League. But it used to be just called the Grid. It's gone through quite an evolution. I actually went on, if you want to find out more about it, and skip a lot of like boring mumbo jumbo from me, you just go to unitedgridleague.com, and they have a website there, and you can look at player profiles, you can look at what the whole grid, like the rules about playing. They have live stream, they have links to their YouTube channel, how to get tickets, and the closest event, I think, to us is coming up August 8th, I believe, and that's in Rutherford, New Jersey. Is that correct, guys?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, so anyway, welcome to the show, Selena and Octavius. Do you want me to call you Octavius the whole time?
Oh, it's fine. You can call me Ock.
I can call you Ock?
Yeah, or
right.
Ock. Yeah, you usually call me that.
All right. Fine. Or Doc Ock?
No.
As your Instagram handle? All right, not call you that. All right. Ock and Selena, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
You're going to want to move the mic just a little closer to your face so we can hear your lovely
better?
voice. That's better. Doc's like, Barry White, hey. Yeah, let me tell you about the Grid League, baby. It's sexy. All right, so you guys are athletes for the Grid League. Selena, I'll let you go first. You were a competitive gymnast.
Yes.
And you started gymnastics at what age?
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. That's right.
3 or 4, probably.
Yeah, you were 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So was that and you're from like the Gettysburg-ish area. Was that like at the Y you did it?
Yes.
That's where everybody gets their gymnastics start, I think, at the YMCA.
Yes.
Thank God for the YMCA. I think they're doing the Lord's work over there. They really are. And then you probably went to, no, you were at the Y the whole time.
At the Y the whole time, yep.
Was there, one, I have found there's usually one gymnastics place in each town, and it's like the person who did gymnastics forever. And so they started gymnastics place. And then it's kind of like, well, we don't need 2 gymnastics places. But anyway, there's the Y, and then there's usually like one other place. We have like a couple around here, though. Yeah, I think it's just because it's so big, probably because we have the college here. And so
the gymnastics gym at my YMCA was an addition to the YMCA, so it was actually a really huge facility.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It wasn't in like a little closet type looking thing. So
yeah,
it was a big facility. We had a boys team too, which a lot of gyms don't have.
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah, a lot of gyms don't. That is my one fitness regret in my life. If my parents were to make me do something, like I think I played Little League Baseball. I sat out in left right field, picked my nose and looked at dirt. I was like, that was not a good position for my overactive brain to be in. But I probably wasn't good enough to do anything else. I did soccer for a while. I did wrestle in like junior high, and then I was like, then I had like a health problem, which I didn't know. I went misdiagnosed for a long time. I had thyroid disease, and nobody.
You had the knee injury that prevented you from going pro?
No, I did not have the knee injury that prevented me from going pro. Then I found martial arts, and that was my thing. And then I kind of got into working out and fitness and CrossFit. So that was my short tenure of things. But I wish, my whole point to saying that was, I wish my parents would have made me do gymnastics.
Yeah.
Because I just think anybody I've ever coached or taught or helped out with fitness and they had a gymnastic background, they were always just so in tune with their body and controlling their body that it was just easy to Lego anything else on it. So you got that going for you. So you're how old are you now?
31.
All right, 31. You're still doing gymnastics, just not structured like in a gymnastics thing.
Yeah.
You came to CrossFit Westchester while you were still in college.
Yes.
Right? You were going to Westchester University. And when you were on their team there, gymnastics
Yes,
team?
I was. Yep.
And I don't know. Do you have any titles from your gymnastics career there?
It's listed on the United Grid League website.
Oh, okay. I would have to look that up there. All right. So,
there was a lot through, like, when I was up through high school, there was a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We did USA gymnastics competitions, and we also did YMCA affiliated competitions.
Okay.
So there's a lot through both of those. And then in college, they was more focused on the team aspect. They would occasionally pick out individuals for weekly awards, if you will, per the meets that we were doing.
Yeah.
But I will say for Westchester, my freshman year, we were able to break the team record as our first year there,
nice.
Which was really cool. And we broke a lot of records through the 4 years. And probably the other big one would be qualifying as a team to nationals, which happened our senior year.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Nice. Ock, how you doing, my man?
I'm well. I'm good.
All right. So Selena's 31. How old are you?
36.
36.
Yeah.
You sound grizzled 36.
It's been a long 36. But
long 36.
I'm happy, yeah.
So, so you guys are not just Grid League athletes. You guys have day jobs.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. And Ock, what do you do? What's your day job?
I'm a full-time police officer.
Oh. Where are you a full-time police officer at, or you rather not say?
No, it's Upper Providence, Pennsylvania, so it's Montgomery County, not the Delco side of Upper Providence, because there's two different ones, but yes. Montgomery County, Upper Providence.
I am familiar over there. So tell me a little bit about your fitness career. Selena's been a gymnast her whole life. She came out of the womb doing cartwheels, went on through high school and then college, and then found CrossFit. How about you?
Yeah, I didn't do the cartwheel thing.
You did
I played
not come
sports
out?
in high school, all throughout high school.
Yeah.
And then transitioned into boxing after high school.
Oh.
And that was where I found CrossFit, because we would just go on .com and do workouts for our conditioning piece after our boxing classes.
And how old were you when you found CrossFit?
I was 17, maybe 18.
Okay.
Yeah. Somewhere around there.
All right. And then, so you were just doing, so when you say .com for our listeners out there, if you just go on to CrossFit.com, that's what we refer to as like the main site. Like, so CrossFit as an entity, as a company, is headquartered, and they have a physical building somewhere, and they have a pretty big machine behind them, and it was, and they post workouts. There's a lot of actual fitness resources. In fact, to this day, I think it's one of the best fitness resources you can go to for free and get online, and they have articles and journals about fitness and health, and now there's all these offshoots like the CrossFit Medical Society, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's a great resource to go check out. It's a great place to get started. I mean, when I found CrossFit.com, it was a WordPress blog in like 2007.
Yep.
And it was like, workouts were like, 100 pull-ups. And I'm like, who's doing 100 pull-ups in a workout, dude? Like, what? I didn't know anything about scaling. My first workout I ever did was the Filthy 50. At 45 minutes in, I was like, I kind of kept my workouts to like, I knew you shouldn't be working out more than, like, I had this idea. It was like, I got this, thing in my head. It was like 45 minutes, and then you're probably turning testosterone into estrogen. It's getting too much endurance. It was all these, like, kind of goofy things, because I didn't know how, I didn't even get, I was doing just regular, like, strength training at a Gold's Gym, like bodybuilding kind of bro split type stuff. But when I started my career, like, in corrections, I had to, like, focus on, like, this idea of being fit for the job, right? Which I'm sure that kind of
fit for duty
led you, fit for duty, for what I was doing. And that kind of led me away from like, right, I don't, you want to be big and have this presence, but it was like, well, what is this idea of functional fitness? And it was always these two windows of, well, yeah, you should train some conditioning, and you should do some strength training, all that kind of, and how did these things blend? But yeah, I didn't know anything. And then I'd started my garage, and then I found some other yahoos that wanted to open up a gym, and we started a gym, blah, blah, blah. Who cares about that? All right. So So in that, right, so you guys both kind of came to CrossFit, which I talked about that a little before you got here, like how CrossFit really has pioneered and changed the landscape of fitness. And it's kind of like, it's cool that you guys are coming on today because, one, you got a match coming up, and we can talk about that. And more also is like the games, the CrossFit games are going on. So I tell people all the time, go check it out. You can watch that on YouTube as well. And just kind of see this evolution of things. It's the 20th year that this, like, how the CrossFit Games got started is really a lot about, like, I think it lends itself to the Grid League, obviously, right? You have this now 20 years the CrossFit Games have been going on. There's this pool of, at least thousands of athletes, will say, tens of thousands of athletes that are, go through the open and do these competitions and trying to maybe like, oh, let me see if I can be the fittest guy or girl on the planet kind of stuff. Because that was the gauntlet that Greg Glassman threw down with CrossFit. Everybody was pooping on CrossFit and like, oh, it's dumb, barbell cycling and lifting weights for time. And and now there's so many people that have just ridden the coattails, like the I call them like, the Temus of CrossFit, like the F45s and the Orange Theories, and they all think they're coming up with something new, and they're not. But it's also not to crap on them as a fitness modality. It's like, hey, if you like Orange Theory, that's cool. Go get fit. There's plenty of people that we need to be fit, and I don't care, whatever you want to do to work out. I just don't like when those people don't pay homage to who did the hard work and who had to fight the haters for years and go, oh, it is my personal belief that it has saved a lot of things. Like Olympic weightlifting, I think, was, really dying out here in the United States. And people would love to argue those things, but that's for the internet, and I don't argue on the internet. But, facts, #facts. So all of that to say, I think it Greg Glassman threw down this gauntlet of, well, if you think you have something that makes you fitter than what my methodology that I'm talking about and how we put things together, come have at it. And it was this open invitation. And then it got so popular, everybody wanted to do it, that we had to say, hold on a minute, time out. We have to lay down some rules. You got to qualify to get on here to see, one, if you're just some Yahoo who wants to go to the games, or, and that was all that happened at what's known as the ranch and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so 2013, the Grid Leagues get started, and this guy, Tony Budding, starts it, but it's like real regional, and I'm looking at the timeline, because I remember when the Grid League came out, and I was like, oh, this will be cool. This is for the people, like, out of tens of thousands of people that want to maybe try and make it to the games, now we have, like, these athletes that are like the top 60 men and women that get to the CrossFit Games. Arguably, like, that's their job. They're sponsored a lot of time. They have a lot of help and resources. There's very few people that are like, oh, yeah, I have like a day job where I work 9 to 5 and I train. There's still some. I think you see it a lot in the Masters divisions now because they just started out later in life and those things. But most of the fitness people, like, that's their job. They work out. Yes. So I think it's cool that there are these things like High Rocks where you could go and compete. And like I laid this groundwork before you guys came on, like Spartan, it was like, hey, I'm a runner. Well, now I'm going to throw some obstacles, and then we're going to run uphill, and we're going to make it more fun. And now it's like, and then there's this idea of community behind these things, right? So all of that. So the Grid League is pretty cool because it's like, wow, now here's this other platform for people who are really fit. But maybe you're not as, like, to be like the fittest at the games, you got to be really well-rounded. You got to be able to do it all, man. You got to be able to run 7,200 meters up and down trail runs. We just saw that this past day. You got to be able to lift a crap ton of weight.
Swim.
Yeah.
You got to swim. All those kinds of things, all aspects of fitness, and you can't just be kind of good at, like, there was a time at the beginning where you could be kind of good at one thing and better at another, and now you just have to be really good at everything.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about your guys' sport, yous guys, I got to watch my grammar, yours guys is, yous guys, is you have specialists.
Yes.
Right? So you guys are both, specialists in certain things because you guys have a team. Mm-hmm. So Selena, what's your team?
We are the New York Wolves.
Mm-hmm. All right, I had to do it.
Bodyweight specialist.
You're a bodyweight specialist.
Yes.
All right, so all the gymnastics.
All the gymnastics stuff. I am utilized in a little bit of the utility as well. Mm-hmm. But, when they have those flips and stuff come up, I'm one of your girls. We got a couple, but yeah.
You're the flipper.
Yep.
Do we have a flipper sound effect from the dolphin? No. Eric, you got to work on that. You got to be faster. All right. So, and I like how they call it bodyweight specialist because, when people, some people poo-poo, they're like, ooh, that's not real gymnastics. But, and it's not, and calling it calisthenics, there's like nerds out there that people love to argue about labels and things. But I like the term bodyweight specialist because it really is pretty simple. Everybody kind of gets it, right? So there's a lot of crazy things that you guys do in the Grid League. What's the craziest movement you've had to do that you, like, as a gymnast, you'd be like, oh, yeah, we would never do this in classical gymnastics because it's not really like a graded thing. And one of the aspects of the Grid League is you're doing it for speed, right? You're trying to go fast.
Yeah. I mean, for me, probably the burpee backflips, obviously backflips are standard in gymnastics, but doing it with a burpee,
you're doing that like in a tumbling routine, right? Or maybe in a dismount off.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of all the things. Like women don't have rings in classical gymnastics, but they have uneven bars. What else? The vault,
beam, and floor.
Beam, and then, of course, the floor.
Yeah.
Or tumbling.
Yeah, so like a backflip standard, but doing 5 burpee backflips as fast as possible.
Not everybody out there might not know what a burpee is. Why don't you tell us what a burpee is? I think everybody at this point...
Throw yourself on the floor and get up.
Yeah.
Throw yourself on the floor and get up.
Essentially, you go down like you're doing a push-up, but, if you're going for speed, you just kind of flop yourself onto the floor.
Okay.
Get yourself back up.
And then you got to get up to a standing
push yourself
position.
Back up. Yeah.
And then you got to jump and do a backflip.
Demonstrate?
Yeah, hold on, ready? Yeah. Hold on, take my headphones off. Ready?
He's going to get hurt.
There, I did it. That was the most perfect burpee backflip ever. Too bad there's not a camera in here.
Yeah. I would say, though, I think it's pretty impressive that they do have some of the ring movements in grid that they do.
Yeah.
Because some of them, are, I don't know.
And when you say ring, again,
it just popped up in the games for that flip thing on the rings.
Yeah, the flips and the one where they go up and do a handstand on the rings. That one too. Yeah.
They tried that at one of the games, at one of the CrossFit games. It turned out horribly because nobody was really ready for it.
Yeah. They tried to do handstand push-ups, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. And they were like, ooh, it looked real. It looked like if I tried to do something upside down right now. They were all bent and all. It was real bad.
Yeah. So it's impressive that they have that in the Grid League.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely, a higher skill done in men's gymnastics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So typically in classic gymnastics, women don't do the rings, men do. But you're getting exposed to the rings in our gym, and a lot of gyms now they have, like, if you look back at pictures of, like, you always see these old time pictures of like the turn of the century, the 1900s, where it was a gymnasium. It really was a gymnasium. It was like a big warehousey space. Yeah. They had some mats, like these cotton padded mat things on the floor, which I've seen in old martial arts schools, like back in the day. And then like Indian clubs and rings, like hanging, tall rings.
Guys in hammocks lifting barbells. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like, the old timey cartoony, like not even kettlebells, but like kettlebelly looking things. Pommel horse, ladders to climb up and over and things, stall bars. That was like that's what you saw a lot.
Yeah.
Parallel bars. I don't know if I said that or not. And then like the tall. What do they call, like, it's not the uneven bar?
The high bar.
Just the high bar. Yeah. Just like this big tall bar, you're spinning around and jumping around. And what's funny is, like, that was a big thing about fitness. That's like parkour had developed out of that. The guy was like French, and he did it to, like, I think he was French, and to keep like the French troops fit was like, hey, instead of sitting around, we're bivouacked here, hanging out all the time in our encampment. We got to like jump over walls and climb trees. Like that was like their fitness before the invention of like lifting weights and other fitness, gymnastics and body weight stuff made up a huge part of that. So like if we think of other fighting elements. It's like was wrestling, it's body weight, that kind of stuff. Even into the military in the early days, there was like, I have a book I'm such a nerd. I bought it off online. It was like the original tumbling book for like the U.S. Air Force that like Greg Glassman talks about in the early, 2000s. In regards to some journal articles about gymnastics. And that's one of the things I think about the sport of fitness is they've only scratched the surface of gymnastics. Like when you think of the skill set that is involved, sure, there's the Olympic lifting, the clean and jerk, taking weight from the ground and putting it over your head in a variety of ways and doing things with it, moving weight. There's only so many things you can kind of do with that before it gets really wild. But like gymnastics is like there's a lot of skill and things that the sport of fitness is only like scratching the surface of. I've argued that since we started the gym in 2009 that we are going to see the games. It's just where you're going to see these things is going to be gymnastics is going to constantly evolve. It's going to get harder and harder. The idea of like a handstand push-up. Now it's like walking on your hands. Now it's like the handstand obstacle course is like almost a given, and they're always changing the standards with the gymnastic stuff because it's like, well, where do we put this line in the sand up for a standard of movement to judge, to compete versus what we're scoring on in classical gymnastics. Yeah. So, Doc, you are a strength specialist.
Yes. Yeah.
And so tell me about that. What does that mean for you as an athlete on the Grid League?
Heavy barbells, heavy sandbags, or that D-ball, whatever that thing is. Yeah.
Yeah, so like a big medicine ball. It's like a big rubber ball loaded up with sand, which is trickier than a sandbag, man.
It is.
Because it's like vinyl. And even though like some of them have a texture, like you get all sweaty.
It doesn't stay still once you get it up. It's constantly moving.
It's moving
not like
around.
A sandbag would.
Yeah, because I think a sandbag, because of the make of the sandbag, it's cloth.
Yeah.
So the sand will settle and the bag forms around you. But that ball, it's air and sand. Yeah. And so that thing rolls around in there.
Yeah, we got that yellow one.
We do have that yellow one. Somebody asked me about that yesterday. They're like, how much is that thing? And I'm like, that's 100 pounds. And they're like,
doesn't feel like a 100-pound sandbag.
No, it feels really very different. Yeah, which is kind of cool. So how did you guys, like I said, Grid League started 2013. I'm looking at their timeline here. And of course, 2020, kicked everybody in the knees with a lot of things. I think there was some kind of like some momentum starts going. Looks like 2015, there's some type of financial phooey, and the guy who started it, Tony Budding, it says forced out. And then there's like, it gets on TV a little bit here and there. Like it was on NBC at one point, which was like the NPFL, whatever that stands for. I forget. NPFL. You know what it stood for? The NPFL? Something league, fitness league.
No, I know at one point it was Florida Grid League.
Right.
But I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, it was just like the Grid League, right? It was like CrossFit. Tony Budding, who was like a dude at the beginning, I'm going to start this Grid League thing. So I think they were like, all right. And I think some of those things of like how the Grid League got started was a lot of what was going on in CrossFit at the time. Like, I forget when Reebok pulled out.
I think it was after Grid had already did their thing.
Yeah.
But again, CrossFit has like pioneered this space to be like, hey, I'm going to go start this fitness racing thing, which I thought was like, oh, excuse me, I keep having hiccups, a cool idea. But I just was like, my big question, and this will be for Matt, is like, how are you going to make money doing it? now I think the playing field's wide open, right? Everybody can be a YouTuber. Yeah, so putting the Grid League on YouTube and having people being able to watch that, highlights you guys. Anybody can watch the Grid League now and get on YouTube. But how did you guys get involved as athletes?
So I...
WCHE.
Let me think here. I guess it was
this is Eric.
Over the summer last year.
Yeah.
Sam, who was in charge of putting the team together.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool.
Your team?
Yes.
Okay.
Dropped into Westchester. He was in the area.
Oh, okay.
He came to our gym. And I guess he was asking if I think he spoke to Jenny if she had anybody in mind for this, for the Grid League, for this position, whatever. And I guess she had mentioned me.
Mm-hmm.
So I chatted with Sam a little bit about it. I wasn't really sure if I was interested. I was like, I don't know, whatever.
He probably approached Jenny and was like, hey, you want to be in the Grid League?
Yeah.
Because, she's a fit lady.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I believe after that, my friend Michaela, who was signing with them, mentioned me again to him about body weight. So I talked to Michaela a little bit about it, and then I ended up jumping on a call with Sam and Lexi, who's our coach.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of went over everything, talked about it, and it just clicked at that point. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do it. I kind of I miss being on a team.
Yeah.
Team aspect kind of thing. So
because I'm sure there's questions of commitment, right? Like how much time do I have to commit? It's not a Philadelphia team. It's a New York team. So what does that mean for training? What's that mean for competing? I got to travel, and that costs money.
Yep.
That costs money. Ak, how about you?
So Cody reached out.
Cody Loeffler.
Yeah.
Now he
coach.
is an owner.
Owner and coach. Yeah.
Him and his wife Emily.
Yep.
They own the Carolina Flight.
Yep.
And that is the team that you play for.
Yeah, so Cody, I trained with Cody back when he was here in PA.
Mm-hmm.
He had a gym over in Phoenixville. Met him there, worked out with him for a couple of years, and then they went down to Carolina. So when he gave me a call, he said, hey, you want to come play around? I'm like, well, listen, I have no gas, but I'll lift some weight, right?
Yeah.
She was like, yeah, no, you'll specialize in that, and then put the team together from there, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So, what's involved for you guys? So, normally, here's where things kind of get weird in the CrossFit space for me, from my perspective, is if you either have professional sports or amateur sports. In an amateur sport, you have, people pay to play. I want to be on the team, I pay, and then the association, whatever's controlling the team, managing the team and the league, whatever, they take care of. I'm going to rent the fields. I'm going to get you guys some referees. We're going to set up and manage times and things like that. And then people come and watch typically for free. Now, in a professional sport, I'm paying you. I'm going to pay you to be there. I'm going to manage and set up all the things that the amateur does, but then people have to pay to watch me. And that was where in CrossFit, in the sport of CrossFit, which is a very small part of CrossFit, but it is a part, is you have to pay to play, and then you got to pay to watch. So it's all right, well, what are we doing here? And I understand the gauntlet was originally thrown down as, hey, we're going to test fitness, and if you want to be a part of it, you can be a part of it, and it's a lot like going to a marathon, you know what I mean? But again, I don't have to pay to watch the marathon. So how does that work for you guys as athletes? You can shine a little light on that. If you want to talk about whatever you feel comfortable talking about. You don't have to mention numbers, but you can kind of tell me.
It's kind of like the games, right? We paid a fee to be a part of the Grid League.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also, I believe, paid uniform.
Yeah, uniform.
Things like that.
So you got to buy a uniform.
Yep.
You got to pay a fee to be a member.
Yeah, there's a Grid fee, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then essentially, it's kind of up to you to get sponsors who either donate money, which you get a portion of, if they do it through the United Grid League.
Yeah.
And then, there's also sponsorships like I have with Thick Boy, where he is all buy your flights for whenever you have to travel and things like
he
that.
He sponsors you at a certain level. You can
Yeah. So,
all right.
You can either have.
And Thick Boy is like a apparel company.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
And who's the guy who owns Thick Boy?
His name's Mark.
Mark what?
Short.
Mark Short.
Yep. Yeah. So that's something where instead
shout out to Mark Short. I like him. He's a cool dude.
Yeah. So we're like, CrossFit Westchester sponsored me to have your logo on my jersey.
That's right.
So that was like a one-time fee. That money, did come to me. That helps me through my season.
And to be transparent to our listeners, it wasn't a lot of money. You know what I mean? No. It wasn't a lot of money to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm just imagining for flights and travel, now we're money's adding up.
Sure.
Okay.
So then you can have sponsors, like I said, where
different tiers of sponsors.
Maybe they're like, oh, well, we'll pay for all your flights for the season, or whatever. So there's different levels to that.
Mm-hmm.
As far as getting paid, we don't get paid.
We don't get paid.
Right. You're not a paid athlete.
No, we're not paid.
But there's ways
unless your sponsor wants to pay you, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. In some sort of way. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
think Heartwork Athletics, they do like a commission thing, sales, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Ambassador program. Yeah.
Okay. Like an ambassador program. All right. And there's a lot of athletic things. Like people just do that just to do that. Right. Like, I don't know, like, they're like, oh, I'll buy these amino acids, 10% off at CoachFoos.com, whatever. Awesome. So on the line, I wanted to get to him. It is Mather Wiswald. He is one of the founders of what is now known as the United Grid League. Good morning, Mather. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you. How you doing?
I'm doing well, and you?
I'm doing great. Are you you're not in a different time zone or anything, are you?
No, I'm Eastern. I'm in Florida.
You're in Florida. All right. Well, good morning. All right. How's the weather down there?
It's hot, but it's nice. We enjoy it.
What's hot? What's Florida hot right now?
It's probably about 90 at the moment. It'll get up to 97, 98 today.
Ugh.
So,
is it humid?
I'm from Philadelphia. I'm from Westchester, to be more specific. So it gets just as hot there, believe it or not.
I didn't know that. So
I went to Westchester University.
Okay, awesome. What'd you go to school there for?
Graphic design and web design originally.
All right.
And
are you the guy who designed the United?
CrossFit Westchester as well. I was a part of CrossFit 215 back in the day.
Wow. That's going way back.
2011, 2012.
Yeah, that's going way back. Who else was at 215? I think we have a picture hanging up where we did a comp at 215. Right. Yeah, and Jimmy looks like a little kid.
I was a part of that too, believe it or not. But yeah, it was Micah and Jay.
Yeah, I was going to say Micah.
Yep.
I couldn't remember. I knew it was some with an M, and I just couldn't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of those cats fell out. We're still standing though, bro. Just to say, a little shout out.
215 still there too. They're just requisite now.
Oh, they changed names. They're requisite. Yeah.
Yeah, so Micah's still there. He's still rocking.
We did a grid comp there a few years ago at requisite.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, listen, so how did you get in, the timeline I'm looking on the website goes all the way back, and I remember that, 2013 and toady butting, and it looks like things were heading in a good direction. Then there was some financial problem, and then, of course, 2020, and it was more regional and smaller, and then, of course, COVID's, right? But now here we are in 2026. Like, how did you take up this banner, shall we say?
Yeah, so I was in Philadelphia area helping run a bunch of different types of competitions, including one that was kind of grid-like. It's called the Liberty Box League. I don't know if you guys heard of it.
I did.
Back in the day.
Yes.
But I was involved with that. I saw Tony's announcement, and I was like, this is the perfect intersection of my interests. I think there's a lot of legs to this concept. And I had been working with my sister on a marketing and web design company in Philadelphia. So we kind of left that to start a team in the then NPGL that Tony started, which is, we were a little late to the game, so we didn't get the Philadelphia team, which we really wanted. We got the Miami team.
Okay.
That's how I ended up in Florida. And then, that version of the sport kind of went down, and my sister and I assessed the situation and said, why did it, and do we still think there's legs to what the sport concept is, and ultimately decided yes, and interviewed a bunch of other people from the ANPDL. Of course, went through a really hard time with that, and everybody kind of universally agreed that the sport is even better than anybody thought, and that it had a ton of legs. It was just the business and the leadership structure and things like that brought the original version down. So we restarted the same sport under a whole new concept in 2017. It was completely grassroots, very small, in gyms, in Florida. Just a few teams to start, and then just continue to grow it to this point, to 2026. We started live streaming the matches in 2022, I think it was, 2021, something like that.
It says like 2021 that you like 5x'd your digital reach with
more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've grown a lot since the origin of this version, for sure.
So what were some major like overhauls when you took over, like when you took this concept? Like it's a cool concept, I get it. It's we got some really fit people out there. We have a pretty big pool of fit people because of things like the CrossFit Games and these other bigger, more regional competitions that are like feeders for the games, as I call them. They're like real big, like Wadapalooza, these fitness expos where, everybody, at that point they can't call it CrossFit unless CrossFit gives them a nod. So they're calling it functional fitness competitions. What big concept, what big changes did you make, or what overhauls did you make? What did you throw out?
In version to this one, the main overhaul was the overhead and what it took to run the sport. We wanted to prove out that the sport was viable on a small level as much as a big level.
Yeah.
There was a lot of hype around the original version, and so that hype translated into, initial audiences that were good.
Yeah.
And the ratings were good, but would that translate on a small level? Could we grow it from, basically back of the gym style local competition into something more national based on the merit of the sport and not on hype or anything else? So
if you're going to come out swinging and be like, we're going to be like the Super Bowl of fitness, man, you are setting some huge expectations, and then you're like, all right, now the rubber's got to meet the road. What are you going to do? Rent out the link? Like, I couldn't even imagine what kind of money, and then, where's that money coming from? That was the problem I always had. I was like, man, you are coming out swinging for the fences with some of the, like you said, the hype behind what was, what they were trying to do. And it was just like, I don't see it at that point. Who's going to go to, Henderson High School to watch people work out against each other? And I was having a hard time making that connection. And like all things that I kind of dissect and pick apart here on the show, whether it's, human stuff or politics, it's like, why does everybody want to, like, everybody wants that, like, everybody wants to be like the, that get rich quick, big, what's this big breakthrough, but they miss, I think they only see that stuff because of social media and where we are in society. They don't see like the building of the thing. And then once you have the thing built and the infrastructure, then you go, here we are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, there's pretty much no sport that exists that didn't have a very long ramp up.
Right.
But they started in different ways.
Yeah.
And most sports had big injections of money initially, prior to, and we're talking more modern sports.
Yeah.
So, in CrossFit's case, they were a training methodology, and they had the financial backing of all the affiliates and things, and the R1s and things to fund the sport. And pickleball started in the 40s, and it was just now getting popular. UFC was around for 12 years before.
Oh yeah.
It was profitable.
I watched the first UFC on pay-per-view, And I remember, like, that was the day where you were like, hey, me and 10 buddies are going to chip in to watch this thing. Nobody was paying $50 just to watch, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
go ahead. A lot of sports started in a similar way to NPGL.
Yeah.
But they ramped up from there, and within our community, like within the CrossFit community, it was a huge deal. There was a lot of hype. There was, competitiveness between CrossFit and the NPGL. So it was a big deal to us, but, to the outside world, it was just another small sport starting up. And so for us, we were just like, we want to prove out the viability of the sport overall. And that's kind of, we feel like what we've done to this point, because we haven't taken any outside capital or anything to this point to build the sport, which again is a very common thing within sports. And I don't think it'll be that way forever as far as us, but, pretty much all sports have had major investments at some point.
Sure. I mean, I think that comes with growth, right? But like when you're doing that, when you're trying to get things going at the start, man, you're giving up a lot, I think.
Yeah.
If a Nike comes in, then they're going to be like, oh yeah, you got to wear all our gear. And when you bring in a big entity or a big personality, whatever that is, it wants some return on its investment, number one, and then it wants control. So it's vying for some control over that. Now you lose the creativity, you lose that ability to like pivot and kind of take some risks and chances, because you got some big bean counter somewhere going like, oh, I don't think that's viable. Blah, blah, blah. Like, well, that's not how anything great ever gets going, right? And I think it's in, this is one of my favorite phrases here. It's in our collaboration as human beings is our superpower. So when you just give up that to some big thing, well, they're worried about them. They're not like into, that's what, when you were talking about CrossFit in general, and it was like, well, they had the money of affiliates and things like, I'd say more than that, they had people that were passionate about fitness. Like people that ran a gym when I started a gym, and I'm sure you could equate to that. They were like, I love this stuff. Not like if you asked me in 2009, hey, this is going to be your lifetime gig. It's, going to pay your bills for 17 years. Like this is what you're going to do. I'd be like, I was working in a jail. I thought I was going to like have to sell my soul for 20, 30 years. Till I could hit that pension and then go for my passion. Mm-hmm. And it just the universe lined up to be something different, and thank God for that. But it is in that passion of the thing, and that I would argue that made CrossFit and the sport of fitness from like CrossFit Games and things what it is, because people were like, yeah, this is so cool, and we're gonna get together, like do it together. Like I remember in those early days just being like, oh yeah, I do CrossFit. Oh, you do CrossFit? Let's do CrossFit together. That sounds ridiculous.
We're now in a cult,
right? Yeah, you're drinking the Kool-Aid. That sounds ridiculous to me when you write it on the board and write those words like, hey, I do this and you do that. Well, let's do it together. Like, there's not a lot of things that people do, like not exercise-wise, that people do that. People do it with like golf because it's like, again, it's like a sport. Mm. So, but anyway, that's my 2 cents. So
yeah, that's part of the magic of it. It's
and I think that carries over to the United Grid League is sort of my point in that is like people are like, ooh, working out. Ooh, now we're working out fast. And the cool thing is about some of the strategy. All right, so besides that overhaul of taking things like, bringing it, trimming the fat, we'll say, you use the word overhead. What does that look like moving forward? Like, where are you trying to go? What's next?
Yeah, I mean, the concept of the sport is designed to be a modern team sport. And, of course, it's got to be fun to play. It's got to be entertaining to watch. But it's got to be able to be consumed on social media and digital means that are common today, like YouTube.
Yeah.
So that was kind of initial concept,
Yeah, I think the platform of because anybody can broadcast now on YouTube. While it is a flood of a lot of crap, right? It's like you've opened a floodgate. There's all kinds of weird crap on there, but like it also opens for cool stuff. And the cream rises to the top, man. I mean, let's face it. If it's cool and people dig it, it will gather some momentum. I've watched some earlier evolutions of things. They weren't quite as available, so when it's so regional and things, you're like, well, I can't see it. I got to go to see it, and I can't get to see it. Now I watched Selena's first match, and then I ended up watching like 2 or 3 other matches with other teams. I was like, oh, this is like, I want to see. Now I saw them do it. Like, how is this, the strategy of it is cool. The idea of tagging in partners is cool. The idea that there's specialists, and that's what's missing, not missing, but that's what's different than some other things, is this team aspect. Let me ask, I'm going to go back to your athletes here. Ak, I'll ask you first. Is it fun? Is it fun to play? Is that what we call it when you compete? Are you playing on the grid league?
Yeah, you're playing. It's absolutely fun, yeah.
It's fun?
Yeah.
I mean, you looked like you were having fun. I watched one of your matches.
I mean, it's a little nerve-wracking at times because there's a lot of speed involved. And one slip-up and, you can have a bad match or a bad race. But, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And so just to give, like, the listening audience a little bit of, you have this, it is a grid, right? And so everybody starts at one side. And there's there's lanes.
Quadrants is what we call them.
There you go,
There's
quadrants.
4 of them.
Thank you. Yeah, give me the nerd lingo. All right, quadrants. So there's quadrants, right? So it's set up, and everybody starts like at a starting line, and then you maybe run out to an area, you do some fitness stuff, and then maybe you continue to move forward, and you have a partner. So there's like guys and girls teamed up. Somebody's off to the side, one person's doing some fitness work, and then you can like tag and do the other. Sometimes you're doing things together. It was so fast. I was like, wait a minute, what's this? What's that? What do they do? Oh, they messed up. Oh, they went to the wrong, like somebody ran out and ran to like the wrong area, or they like, oh, you didn't tag in right. And that makes it very exciting.
Yep.
So in that,
there's a lot of strategy.
Yeah.
As players, athletes, I leave the strategy to the coaches. Just tell me where I got to be. Tell me what to do.
Tell me what to do.
Yeah, keep it simple.
But we know exactly what we're doing before, like, game day.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's practice.
Oh, yeah.
There's definitely
we're
not
prepping up for this match since the last match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you watch videos of other matches and
we
be
watch
like,
it? Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have highlight reels of other teams and be like, so in your match, Selena, you were, who did you compete against?
The Brigade.
The Brigade. And they were like one of the oldest teams because some of those people had been in these earlier evolutions of the grid league. So, because they were like, oh, since 2013, these people have been around. And I'm like,
if we can touch on that. So the teams are pretty much comprised of the earlier guys. So like Cody, he was on the team.
Right.
He was on the team. So now you have some of the originals teaching us as, I guess, the newbies, the rookies, or coaching us. It makes it a lot easier because they've been through it. They know,
Sure. Yeah, I think that's, experience. That's wisdom, right? That's life. So this is your rookie year for both of you. This is your first time competing. If you were going to tell, I'm sorry, is it Mathers or Matters?
Mather.
I'm sorry. I don't have it in front of me. My computer shut down and all froze up. Mathers, if you were to tell Mathers one thing as an athlete right now, you're new in the sport. Oh, Selena's getting all like, oh no, I don't want to say nothing.
I go in on it.
Right.
I don't know what your question's going to be.
Well, I don't know. Right? This is what makes live radio fun. If you, as an athlete, where you're at, this is your first year, right? You've only done like a couple how many matches have you had under your belt?
One so far.
One so far. Ak, you too?
One, just
one.
Yep.
You've done one match, and you're seeing things, and I'm sure you probably already have, I'm sure Mathers is a smart guy. He's probably would go back to the athlete, hey, I want to hear back, feedback, what's going on. What would you say right now? What would you, if you were sitting in Mathers' seat, what would you change right now? Just one thing.
What I change?
Or maybe nothing. Maybe the answer is nothing. I love how it is. There's not one thing I would change. Like something that you would think would make things better.
It's hard only having done one to really know that.
And maybe the answer is I don't know, and nothing. That's fine.
Right now, nothing.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. I thought everything was run really well, and I think the layout of a whole match touches on every specialist in some kind of way.
Yeah.
Which is the whole point of it.
Yeah.
That's why we have the team. So, yeah, I mean, having only done one as of right now, I would say nothing. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
All right.
It's just fun.
Mathers, you're doing everything right, bro. You're batting 1,000, bro.
Well, that's why you're in charge.
Yeah.
And maybe.
Well, I'll take it, but we have a lot of room to improve, for sure. But I do appreciate it. It's great to have these two part of it. But yeah, I mean, there's so many things we want to be doing better.
Like what?
Yeah.
Let me hear. Give me two things.
Well, I'll give you the most important thing to me.
Okay.
And that's that, we create content to bring engagement to the sport.
Yeah.
And create value around the sport that allows us to continue to operate it, and then for players to develop value around them. And they were talking a little bit about the sponsorship that, comes with it and whatnot. And some players have leveraged that into, multi-thousands of dollars yearly. But it's all predicated on content, and the content that we put out does amazing. We just don't put out near enough of it. And we've got to figure out how to be able to put out more, because that's really the main thing between where we are today and where we want to go is the amount and quality of content that we put out. I mean, these guys know what happens on the grid is incredible.
Yeah.
There's world-class athletes performing things that nobody else in the world can in a highly strategic, highly choreographed way at top speed, highly competitive, huge stakes. We're just barely shining a light on the amazingness that happens on a grid. And so it's very frustrating for somebody from my perspective not to be able to better tell the story, because it's not just what happens on the grid, it's also what happens off the grid. And the idea of being on a team with men and women together is completely novel to us, has so many unique and interesting dynamics. It's incredibly engaging for any sports fan, because it just adds whole new dimensions of drama and interest and stories that don't exist anywhere else. And we barely tell that story. So it's not a desire thing. It's not an effort thing. It's just pure resources. So I think, we're getting into one of the parts that we talked about earlier, where every sport has, investment as an important stage of it. And I think we're really finding out why, because that's one of the big things that I'd really love to do more, is just put out more content.
So you mean like matches?
No, matches.
Stories.
Well, of course, I would love to do more matches, but we have, if I had my way, we'd probably put out 400 times the amount of content with the existing matches.
I got you.
Clips that happen, highlights, behind the scenes.
And that takes people
features
behind a camera and videoing. And listen, as a small business guy, man, taking a video and editing, sometimes oh my God, it takes me.
I helped him.
Oh my God,
that's a couple-day process right there.
It could be, sure. And I get that there's all kinds of tech, and there's people that do it way faster, and you need an army. And that was one of the big problems, not to talk about CrossFit too much, but CrossFit, when they dumped their media team, was the dumbest thing they ever did. But what it did was it set these media dudes out into the wild, and a lot of people have benefited off that, like Savan Mortisian or whatever his name is. All those people. There's a million channels now about what's going on in the CrossFit world. You need that for the Grid League, you need people, talking about matches. I volunteer.
Well, I think we talked about it on the phone the other day, just with the Grid Day you wanted to do at the gym.
Yeah.
We can get more of that, because then you have the community getting involved into it. Now they're taking their videos and uploading it. Now they're tagging the Grid League. So that community aspect.
It's organic and community.
Right.
We got to set that up.
100%.
Yeah.
And after watching a couple matches, I was like, oh, totally, because everybody's now on High Rocks. I won't say what.
Yeah.
And it's oh, dude, people that are new, I get it. It's new, it's trendy, it's hot, and I don't hate it.
There's also a lot of people that aren't in the CrossFit space that are doing that.
Right.
Or in the functional fitness space. They're just coming and seeing it because it's new.
They're runners who are like, oh, there's some other things.
Right.
And then they go, oh, I can't lift this weight or push that sled. And I'm like, that's right.
Yeah.
You lift some weight. All right. And they need to get big and strong like my man's. Like my man's Doc Ock over here.
Let me make a quick pitch for why Grid is an amazing in-gym experience.
Yeah.
Because one of the similarities to CrossFit is that it's scalable. So, we have kids that play Grid with push-ups and, box climbs and, jumping over, barriers and things like that.
Yeah.
And then you can scale it all the way up. The beautiful thing about it is a Grid team requires a variety of skill sets, body types, personalities, things like that. And so you have people in your gym that will never sign up for a CrossFit competition because they can't do a pull-up or they can't do double unders, whatever. But they have a beautiful place on a Grid League team because let's say somebody's a little on the bigger side, they might not be able to do pull-ups, so they can probably bust out some deadlifts, especially at a scaled level.
Right. On
the other side, you have a smaller athlete in the gym that, is a little bit lighter, is not going to be doing deadlifts, but would love to do some handstand push-ups, for example.
Yeah,
you bring all those skill sets together on a single team, it creates a connection that you build together as a team.
100%.
And it really brings the community together.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I think that's a really great point. Right. I think some people see CrossFit because it is an individual thing, and they go, oh, everybody. I have people like even to this day, they're like, everybody's so fit here. I didn't want to join your gym because everybody's so fit. I'm like, dude. Like all these people got here, you're missing out on the process.
Yeah.
But then to take somebody like you're celebrating, I don't like to get into real weird stuff, but a larger bodied athlete's never going to be a little ninja. Mm-hmm. Even though I've seen big people get up on the rings and do amazing things with their body weight. But you see that. I see it because I've been in this business for so long, especially on this CrossFit space. And it's like people come in and they go, the road diverges. They either go down the strength thing because that's what they do. Everybody likes to do what they do well. And they're like, well, strength is my gig and I don't have to do this other stuff, even though we should be working on the other stuff. Right. And then you got your ninjas, right, who are upside down and good at all the body weight stuff or better, I should say. And then they're like, I'm never going to, throw 300 pounds over my head kind of stuff.
That's why we say Grid is such a great compliment to CrossFit because what CrossFit is amazing. Being good at everything is a great inspiration for everybody.
Sure.
And those athletes that do fit into that category is incredible. The fittest on earth is an awesome concept. But then you have everybody else that's either a little too big or a little too small.
Yeah.
And Grid provides an opportunity to leverage what you build in a CrossFit gym through what your body type actually is and what your skill set and what you enjoy actually is and express it in a new form of competition that actually creates connection with others in your gym that complement your skill set. And just the whole thing brings people together and lets you appreciate the abilities of somebody else that you don't have,
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to have like a Grid League day at the gym.
We got to make it happen.
Yep.
And being that Ock and Selena are like local to the area, I want to, I think it's cool. I told Ock I want him to come down to my Grid League day. And then it'll help me, if somebody else wants to do it, then I'll have that experience and I can come and help them out with things. So I'm like super excited. Mathers, the next time you're in town, you got to let me know. You got to hit me up. I would love to talk to you more. If you were going to start a team in Philadelphia, because as I'm like getting ready for this interview and I was looking around and digging into some of the history and things, and I had kind of, after watching Selena's match, I was like looking around on the site, which is really cool and informative. And it was like, oh, you can be like a team owner. And I'm like, what other thing could you be a team owner of something in this sort of like middle ground kind of thing, for a bit? There's like, I could, sponsor somebody at a league, like the softball league. The pizza guy is always the, or the whatever, the auto body dude's always sponsoring the softball league or kickball, that. So if you were to start a Philadelphia team, what would you call the Philadelphia team? I want to hear your name. I'm going to ask you two, so get some names ready.
Oh, man.
Mathers, what would you call the Philadelphia team?
That's a good question. I can't believe I've never thought of it. I wanted a Philadelphia. Oh, okay. So I'll tell you, we made a pitch for the Philadelphia team originally for the NPGL, and it was...
That was the Philly Founders, right?
What was that?
The Philly Founders?
That wasn't us. That was the group that actually won it.
Won
it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was actually
I thought the Philadelphia Founders, that would be... Yeah, I thought I had heard that. Yeah. It sounds really familiar to me. But go ahead. Yeah. Do you have one?
But I think we had two. It was the Philadelphia Fight and the Philadelphia Elite were the two that we were thinking about.
Philadelphia Fight and the Philadelphia Elite. I think the Fight is already another name. Is it not another team? The Atlanta? No. Oh, Atlanta Wild.
Sure.
Yeah, Wild.
Yeah.
All right.
Their Flight.
Yeah. No, I know that. Yeah. I thought Fight was one of them. All right. I asked ChatGPT.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Philadelphia Forge, Philadelphia Foundry, or the Founders. I like that, Founders. Philadelphia Iron, dumb. Philadelphia Surge. Philadelphia
Miami Surge. There's already a Surge.
Yeah, there you go. Philadelphia Choice. Yes, and the rest of them are all lame. And of course, there's everything that's like Philadelphia Freedom. That's not on here, but like I don't know why they didn't say that. But I like the Forge. I see that anvil and that hammer. Forge. Freedom. I like that one too.
Liberty.
Yeah, Liberty. Philadelphia Liberty.
I was going to go Liberty.
Yeah. Liberties. I don't know.
The Philadelphia Liberties.
Just go Birds. Just call it
Go Birds.
Don't have to say Philly. Just go Birds.
Fighting Phils.
Yeah.
Just be called the Fighting Phils.
The Philadelphia Phils.
Philadelphia Phils. All right. Mathers, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to let you go so we can get a little more out of our athletes. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back. Mathers, thanks for calling in, and I mean it. Next time you're in town, please hit me up.
Yeah, me too.
Love it.
Thank you.
Oh, Selena's like, yeah, hit her up too.
Yeah, absolutely. And look forward to hearing what the name of your new Philadelphia team is.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's your calling right there. He's telling you get a team.
I know. Listen, the wheels are spinning. I'm thinking about it. Maybe 2027 I put a team together.
Hit me up. Let's talk.
All right. Listen, thank you so much for calling in. It was very interesting. I wish you all the best of luck with the team because I think you're doing something really cool. I like where you're going, and man, if anytime you got anything you want to promote or talk about, you got something cool going on, please feel free to call in. Let me know. And we'll highlight you here.
All right. Thank you all so much for the interest in the sport and for being a part of it. And we'll talk soon.
All right. Take care. Guys, we're going to take a break. You're listening to The Talk of Chester County, WCHE, 95.3 on the FM, 1520 on the AM, and worldwide, 953WCHE.com. We'll be right back.